and Writing class. My name is teacher Daniel. Today is June 6th, 2024. I'm very, very happy that we're finally in the summer months. So that's a very, very good thing. And let's begin our lesson. So a little bit about me. I've been teaching for quite some time now. I've been teaching this class for, I would say, close to 5, 6 months now. So this specific class, but overall, I've been teaching for a long, long time. So without further ado, let's begin our lesson. We have a few new students going to join us, Chloe and two others. That's what I was told. There's also a few other students that are part of this class. I think they might be just running late. So it's going to be a good experience. Okay? All right. Let's start with a writing exercise. So, Chloe, can you read the slide out for us, please?
Imagine a universe where Earth is just one of many ha- habitable planets. Humans have settled. Your protagonist, a young space explorer, stumbles upon a relic from an ancient civilization
Civilization.
civilization while charting a remote planet. This artifact holds secrets that challenge everything known about the universe and their own place within it. As they unravel its mysteries, they confront moral dilemmas about the consequences of human expansion into the cosmos. Will they preserve the artifact's secrets or expose them to the wider galaxy? How will their discovery shape the future of interstellar exploration and humanity's understanding of itself?
Yes, very, very good. So Derek just joined. So Derek, right now we're doing a writing exercise, okay? So this is a very interesting writing prompt. As we can see here, we're imagining that that Earth, sorry, is just one of the many habitable planets, right? So think about it. People have settled on the moon, on Mars, on Venus, so on and so forth, right? Um, and this protagonist, this main character, they find this item from some sort of ancient civilization when they are charting a remote planet. Who can tell me what is the meaning of charting a remote planet? What does this mean? No one? No one knows? All right. So charting a remote planet essentially means exploring it, trying to map it out in a way, you know? Okay. So this artifacts hold secrets that challenge everything known about the universe and their own place within it. So something about this item just causes you to start thinking about how the universe came to be, right? And there are some moral dilemmas involved about the human expansion into the cosmos. So, what could be a possible moral dilemma of human expansion in the uh into the universe? Who can tell me? Who can give me a good idea? No one's going to answer. I'll have to pick on someone. I don't want to do that. I got a message. What's a moral dilemma? Yeah, that's a very good question, Derek. So, moral dilemma is essentially an issue that you face, like your morality, right? So, a good moral dilemma would be, is it ethical? So, is it right to download copyrighted material? So, like downloading music for free when you're supposed to pay for it, right? That's a moral dilemma. So, it's essentially, is it right or wrong? So, what could be a possible moral dilemma of humans exploring space? Anyone? All right, let's have Eric. Eric, what do you think could be a possible moral dilemma of humans exploring space?
Finding aliens.
Can you repeat that, Eric?
Finding aliens.
But how could that be a moral dilemma? You have to expand a little more on that. How could that be right or wrong?
The aliens might think that it's like a threat, so then they'll come to Earth and destroy us.
Okay, interesting. So humans could create a possible threat to the aliens. Yeah, that's very interesting. Derek also said too much resource consumption. Yeah, that could be another good one. So a lot of good ideas flowing. All right, good stuff, guys. Um, and essentially, this protagonist has this issue where should they expose the secrets that come with this artifact, or should they keep it to themselves? This secret could change the whole world, and you have to come up with it. So this is a story you have to come up with. I'll give everyone up until let's do XX 25. So this should give you more than enough time to write, to think, you know. And if everyone needs a little bit more time, we'll go a little bit longer, but let's aim for this time. If you have any questions, you can unmute yourself. I'm here. You could also use the chat box. I'll be able to respond. Before we begin, does anybody have any questions? No? All right. You may be. Oh, did someone else join? No, that's the assistant join. Okay. So you may begin now. Okay, Chloe just sent in a question. So what are we supposed to write? So you're supposed to write a story based on these instructions. So have you written stories before, Chloe?
Yes.
Yes. So essentially, this is a set of instructions, right? So we have this main character who finds this object in space, and this object contains many secrets about the universe. You have to write about what that character does with that object. Do they tell everyone? Do they keep it to themselves? What secrets does this object hold? So essentially, it's like it's something that you could go off of. You have all creative freedom. You just have to follow something along these lines.
Okay.
All right? Okay. All right, so I just want to cut in very quickly. Derek had a very good question. So Derek asked, does it have to be a remote planet, or can it be a planet in our solar system? So the answer to that is it's completely up to you. All right, so you could choose either or. You could make up a planet, or it could even be a planet that's already out there. Okay? All right. All right, everyone, it's almost time. Take as much time as you need. As soon as someone sends one in, we'll start correcting. But if you still haven't finished, take a little bit more time and then we'll continue.
So do we write it in the chat?
Yes, we write it in the chat and you send it directly to me.
Because the thing is, mine is gonna take a little more time because I wrote it on paper and I'm done. So now I'm gonna type in the chat and it's gonna take a while.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Just type as much as you can. Next time, type it directly in the chat, okay?
Okay.
All right.
I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you need to write a solution?
A solution? What's considered to be a solution?
Well, I'm just asking if you have to write one.
You don't have to, no, but if you'd like to, sure.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, a resolution, yes. So it's up to you. You're the author, okay? All right.
Okay.
All right. So Derek sent a few messages. Uh, that's fine, Derek. We'll still take it up. So let me just grab all the messages Derek has sent us, and then we will correct it. All right. Very good stuff, Derek. Yeah, that is a good amount. All right. If you don't have this amount, that's fine. Derek usually writes a lot, and that's a good thing. Okay. So one clear, bright day. So instead of saying one clear, bright day, say on a clear, bright day. On a clear, bright day, and we could take this out. Today my strike through isn't working, so I will just use it like that. On a clear, bright day, Felix was charting many areas of Mercury. Recently, people had made an atmosphere for Mercury, and Felix's job was to find potential water reservoirs that potentially form. Okay, so this repetition right here, even though it's technically not the same tense of the word, okay? So potential and potentially, they have pretty much they have the same meaning, right? So to find potential water reservoirs that had, who can give me a synonym for potential or potentially? So synonym, anyone? Okay, how about that might have formed? That might have formed. Might have formed. He was also told to report back to the office if he had found any plants or animal life. Or sorry, any plant or animal life. Okay. So this is good, but we can make it even better. So we could say any biological life. Okay? Because biological means both plants and animals. Logical life. On his map, he hadn't located a single droplet of water, but he had pointed out many spots where water may have formed beneath the surface. As Felix walked up a huge mountain and reached the peak, he saw a glimpse of a shiny object in the distance. He was intrigued and went over to look at the small item. Felix picked it up and saw it was a bright scroll. He opened it up and he found writing that was strangely in English. As he read it, his knowledge of space became completely false, and everything he had learned of was incorrect. The scroll said that the universe had been created by ghosts who used Earth's resources to create other planets. The scroll explained that Earth was indeed the center of the universe, but that everything was chained to the condition of it. It explained that if Earth was destroyed, all planets, stars, and galaxies would be. Okay, so repetition again. If Earth was destroyed, who can give me a synonym for destroyed? There's quite a few, so I want someone to give me a synonym. Anyone? Who can give me a synonym for destroyed? No one? Okay, I'll have to pick someone. Mason, can you give me a synonym for destroyed, please?
Wrecked.
Yeah, how about annihilated? Annihilated.
True.
Yeah, that's better. Felix was extremely confused, but he had picked up one theme from the writing. If human civilization continued to use and waste materials, everything would start to fail. Felix immediately decided to report this to the office, but no one believed him. When he showed them physical evidence, though, they changed their mind. They changed their minds because there's multiple people in the office, right? So we make this plural, and told the higher authorities. The government was surprised, but when they were shown the scroll, they also believed in the truth of the universe. They decided to make everything more eco-friendly, like not such as instead of let's say such as, okay? It's not incorrect, but I'm just trying to help us improve our writing, okay? Such as not using gasoline as fuel. Earth was also completely restricted from human contact, as people could move to Venus and Mars as their homes. Um, Earth began to heal, and other planets in the solar system began to be easier to live on. People understood that conservation was important, and everyone became healthier. Yeah, pretty good. All right, who's next? All right, everybody. So we need to move on. If everyone can please send in their writing, even if you haven't finished, that would be great because we have to continue our lesson. All right. Wonderful,
I
wonderful.
was just done.
Oh, really good. That's great. Okay. Perfect. All right. So from Chloe, a young space explorer explored almost all. Okay. So over here, this is good. A young space explorer explored, but you see how these two words they are very close to each other, right? Just one letter off. So one's a
Yeah.
verb, one's the noun. We can change it up and make it more interesting. So young space, let's say astronaut. Okay, so astronaut explored almost all of the planets because planets is a noun, right? All of the planets. A young space astronaut explored all of the planets. But when he visited Mars, so Mars is a planet. A planet is a proper noun.
Capital.
Capital. Very good. You see, you're seeing your own mistakes. That's very good. All right. He found a strange looking creature that happened to be an alien. Okay, so here I'll help I'll let you answer what we need to do where my mouse is.
Space.
Space. Very good. He learned the secrets of their powers, but then one day, okay, so N, one day they had to attack Earth. So Earth, what do we have to do?
Capitalize.
Capitalize. Very good. Very good. He had a choice of stopping. So stopping is spelled with two P's. Okay.
Peace.
Yeah. Or having them as a friend. He wanted to help and take care of people on the what do we
Capitalize.
capitalize. Very good. All right. The earth, and he also wanted to have a rare looking friend that helped him through his life, but he could only choose one. This is good. Here, I would just add a comma. Okay. All right. Good job, Chloe.
Okay.
Good job. Very good. So you see, this the kind of exercise. We give you some instructions, and from there, you just write a story. Okay. So just like this. This is a good example. All right. Who's next? Who can send in their writing next? All right. Everyone, guys, we need to send in our writing. I'm still waiting on two people. We need to send it in order to continue with our lesson. Okay, I'll give everyone 1 more minute to send in their writing. If you don't send it in, I can't correct it. All right. Final chance to send in your writing. Eric and Mason, please send in your writing now as we need to continue. So Eric, Mason, send in your writing right now. Even if you haven't finished, even if you're halfway through a sentence, just send it in. Because remember, guys, I have a spreadsheet that tells me who does what, right? All right, so we have to move on. So I didn't get any writing, but we have to move on. So let's do a little bit of reading today. Okay, so we're going to continue from where we left off with the giver. So we read up until page 11. So let's jump to page 11. So that's good, good introduction. That's fine. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, right here. So from 3. Yep, this is where I remember. This is where we ended. Okay, let's have Derek. Can you start us off up until here for us, please?
Wait, so from 3 to
Yes, from where
highlight.
3 to where the highlight. Yes, correct.
Okay. Oh, look, Lily's wielding the light. Isn't he cute? Look how tiny it is. And he is. And he has furry eyes like yours, Jonas. Jonas glared at her. He didn't like that she had mentioned his eyes. He waited for his father to chastise Lily, but father was busy unstrapping the carrying basket from the back of his bicycle. Jonas walked over to look. It was the first thing Jonas noticed as he looked at the new child peering up curiously from the basket of hail lies. Almost every citizen in the community had dark eyes. His parents did, and Lily did, and so did all of his group members and friends. But there were a few exceptions. Jonas himself and a female of 5 who he had noticed had the different lighter eyes. No one mentioned such things. It was not a rule, but was considered rude to call attention to things that were unsettling or different about individuals. Lily, he decided, would have to learn that soon, or she would be called in for chastisement because of her insensitive chatter. Father put his bike into its port. Then he picked up the basket and carried it into the house. Lily followed behind, but she glanced back over her shoulder at Jonas and teased. Maybe he had the same birth mother as he.
Very good, very good. From here, can we have Eric? Can you read from here, please?
Jonas shrugged. He followed them inside. He had been startled by New's child's eyes. Mirrors were rare in the community. They weren't forbidden, but there was no real need of them. And Jonas had simply never bothered to look at himself very often. When he found himself in a location where a mirror existed, now seeing the new child and its expression, he was reminded that the light eyes were not only a rarity, but gave the one who had them a certain look. What was it? Depth. 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 He decided, as if one were looking into the clear water of the river, down the bottom where things might lurk which hadn't been discovered yet. He felt self-conscious, realizing that he, too, had that look. He went to his desk, pretending not to be interested in the new child. On the other side of the room, Mother and Lily were bending over to watch as Father unwrapped its blanket. What's his comfort object called? Lily asked, picking up the stuffed creature which had been placed beside the newborn in his basket. Father placed it, Hippo, he said.
Very good. From here, let's have Mason. Can you read from this point on, please?
Lily giggled at the strange word. Hippo, she repeated, and put the comfort object down again. She peered at the unwrapped new child who waved his arms. I think new children are so cute, Lily giggled. Oh, no, Lily sighed. I hope I get a son to be a birth mother. Lily, Mother spoke very sharply. Don't say that. That's a very little honor in that assignment. But I was talking to Natasha. You know the 10 who lives around the corner? She does some of her volunteer hours at the birthing center. And she told me that birth mothers get wonderful food and they have very gentle exercise periods, and most of the time they just play games and amuse themselves while they're waiting. I think I like that, Lily said, punctually.
Very good. And let's have from here, Chloe, can you read up until I'll highlight it, okay?
"3 years," Mother told her firmly. "3 births. And that's all. After they are laborers for the rest of their adult lives. Until the day that they enter the house of the old. Is that what you want?" "Well, no. I meant 3 lazy years and then hard physical labor until you are old." "Well, no, I guess not," Lily acknowledged reluctantly. Father turned the new child onto his tummy in the basket. He sat beside it and rubbed its small back with the was in a commotion. Anyway, Lily Billy, he said affectionately, your birth mothers never even get to see new children. If you enjoy the little one so much, you should hope for an assignment as nurture. When you're an 8 and start volunteer hours, you can try some at the what center? Mother suggested.
Nurturing center.
Nurturing center.
Yeah, very good. So I will read a little bit as well, and we'll continue. Yes, I think I will, Lily said. She knelt beside the basket. What did you say his name is? Gabriel? Hello, Gabriel, she said in a sing-song voice. Then she giggled. Oops, she whispered. I think he's asleep. I guess I'd better be quiet. Jonas turned to the school assignments on his desk. Some chance of that, he thought. Lily was never quiet. Probably she should hope for an assignment as speaker, so that she could sit in the office with a microphone all day, making announcements. He laughed silently to himself, picturing his sister droning on the self-important voice that all the speakers seemed to develop, saying things like, Attention, this is a reminder to females under 9 that hair ribbons are to be neatly tied at all times. He turned towards Lily and noticed his satisfaction that her ribbons were, as usual, undone and dangling. There would be an announcement like that quite soon, he felt certain, and it would be directed mainly at Lily, through her name, of course, would not be mentioned. Though her name, of course, would not be mentioned. Everyone would know. Okay, from here, let's have Derek again.
Everyone had known. He remembered with humiliation that the announcement, attention, this is a reminder to male 11s that objects are not to be removed from the recreation area and that snacks are to be eaten, not hoarded, had been specifically directed at him the day last month that he had taken an apple home. No one had mentioned it, not even his parents, because the public announcement had been sufficient to produce the appropriate remorse. He had, of course, disposed of the apple and made his apology to the recreation director the next morning before school. Jonas thought again about that incident. He was still bewildered by it. Not by the announcement or the necessary apology, those were standard procedures, and he had deserved them, but by the incident itself. He probably should have brought up his feelings of bewilderment that evening when the family unit had shared their feelings of the day, but he had not been able to sort out and put words to the source of his confusion, so he had let it pass.
Very good. So from here, let's have, once again, let's have Eric.
It had happened during the recreation period when he had been playing with Asher. Jonas had casually picked up an apple from the basket where the snacks were kept. He had thrown it into his friend. Asher had thrown it back, and they had begun a simple game of catch. There had been nothing special about it. It was an activity that had performed countless times. Throw catch. It was effortless for Jonas, and even boring, though Asher enjoyed it. And playing catch was a required activity for Asher because it would improve his hand-eye coordination, which was not up to standards. But suddenly Jonas had noticed, following the path of the apple through the air with his eyes, had the piece of fruit had, well, this was the part that he couldn't adequately understand. The apple had changed just for an instant. It had changed in midair, he remembered, but it was in his hand, and he looked at it carefully. But it was the same apple, unchanged, the same size and same shape. A perfect sphere, the same nondescript shade, about the same shade as his own tunic.
Very good. From here, let's continue with Mason. Mason, can you continue for us, please? You're not.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
oh. There was absolutely nothing remarkable about that apple. He had tossed it back and forth between his hands a few times, then from Warner to Asher, and again in the air for an instant only. It had changed. It had happened 4 times. Jonas blinked, looked around, and tested his eyesight, squinting at the small print on the identification badge attached to his tunic. He read his name quite clearly. He could also see Asher at the other end of the throwing area. He had no problem catching the apple. Jonas was completely mystified. Ash, he had called. Does anything seem strange to you about the apple? Yes, Asher called back, laughing. It jumps out of my hand onto the ground. Asher had just dropped it once again.
Wonderful. And let's have from here, Chloe, can you read up until from there, and then I will up until here.
Wait. So Jonas laughed too. With his laughter, tried to ignore his uneasy conviction that something had happened. But he had taken the apple home against the recreation area rules. That evening, before his parents and Lily arrived at the dwelling, he had held it in his hands and looked at it carefully. It was slightly bruised now because Asher had dropped it several times, but there was nothing at all unusual about the apple. He held a magnifying glass to it. He had tossed it several times across the room, watching, and then rolled it around and around on his desktop, waiting for the thing to happen again. But it hadn't. The only thing that happened was that the announcement later that evening over the speaker, the announcement that singled him out without using his name, that caused both of his parents to glance meaningful at his desk where the apple still lay.
Very good, and now I'll finish the rest. Now, sitting at his desk, staring at his schoolwork, as his family hovered over the new child in his basket, he shook his head, trying to forget the odd incident. He forced himself to arrange his papers and try to study a little before the evening meal. The new child, Gabriel, stirred and whimpered, and father spoke softly to Lily, explaining the feeding procedure as he opened the container that held the formula and equipment. The evening proceeded as all evenings did in the family unit, in the dwelling, in the community. Quiet, reflective, and a time for renewal and preparation for the day to come. It was different only in the addition to it of the new child with its pale, solemn, knowing eyes. All right, so that was quite interesting reading. We won't discuss it just because I don't want to run low on time, and also it was more of a filler chapter, so not much really happened. Okay, so writing lesson for today. Today we're going to be learning about argumentative essays. So before we begin, has anyone here written an argumentative essay or an essay in general?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. So this might be a little bit of a review for you, but should be doable. All right. So argumentative essays. Let's have Eric. Can you read the slide for us, please?
Argumentative essay. What is an argumentative essay? An argumentative essay is almost like a written debate. Most of the time, there are two sides. Example, pollution. Pollution is bad for the environment. Pollution is necessary for economic prosperity.
Yeah, very good. So an argumentative essay is essentially a piece of writing that informs the reader about a specific topic. So for example, if we're writing about how pollution helps the economy, right? We would say, hey, pollution helps the economy because without pollution, factories can't be that efficient. You save money, so on and so forth. However, you can also write pollution is bad for our environment. Why? Well, carbon emissions are bad for our ozone layer, and we need to be able to save our environment or at least preserve it in order for human life to sustain itself. So, does anybody have any questions about this slide? I know if it's new to you, you might be a little confused, but in the next few slides, it'll make sense. No questions? Okay, let's continue. So this is how an introduction would look like. Let's have Mason. Can you read the slide for us, please?
Introduction. Hook. Begin with an attention-grabbing statement. What?
Anecdote.
An anecdote, quote, or question to engage the reader and introduce the topic. Background information. Provide context about the issue or topic being discussed. Thesis statement. Present the main argument or claim that the essay will support. The thesis statement should be clear, concise, and debatable.
Yeah, very good. So a hook essentially is just a attention-grabbing statement, right? So something to really lure the reader in order to read the rest of your writing, right? Because the hook is the most important part. If you don't hook the reader, especially in today's times where people have a very, very short attention span due to social media, it's very hard to have them read the whole thing. So your hook essentially makes or breaks your argumentative essay, right? What's the point of writing so much good content if your hook isn't there, right? No one's gonna get to it. You also want to provide some background information. So this could be context about the issue or topic being discussed, some facts, some more information for the reader to really understand. Also, you need to write a thesis statement. So thesis statements, they could be a whole lesson in themselves. They're very interesting. So essentially, it just presents the main argument or claim that the essay will support. So it should be clear, concise, understandable. People should be able to get it like that, like a snap. Okay? Does anybody have any questions? Like I said, it might be a little bit confusing, but it'll make sense. No? All right. Let's look at some examples of introductions. Okay? So let me quickly open this up. All right. So these are some good examples over here right here. Okay. So let's have just the introduction. This is the introduction right here. Let's have Derek. Can you read this for us, please?
As online learning becomes more common and more resources are converted to digital form, some people have suggested that public libraries should be shut down, and in their place, everyone should be given an iPad with an e-reader subscription.
Yeah, so as you can see right off the bat, and maybe this isn't correct, but we know exactly what the whole essay is going to talk about. Who can tell me what is the essay going to talk about? Yes, Chloe?
How people would rather go online to teach classes or like read books, like not really like do stuff online rather than go out to like a place, get something and come back and like read, like
Correct.
in person.
Yes, very good. And Derek also mentioned something interesting. It's sort of like online learning, right? I remember during COVID, a lot of students had to learn online. They didn't have school in person. They had online learning through Zoom or through other platforms. So interesting stuff, right? And although this might not be, you might not agree with this idea, you're still going to read the essay, right? Because you're like, oh, that might be interesting. Maybe they have a point. So does anybody have any questions? No questions? All right, let's go on to the number 2. So this one's a little bit longer. Let's have Chloe. Can you read this for us, please?
You mean this essay could be improved, that whole thing?
No, this malaria is an infectious disease.
Oh,
Do you see my screen?
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, this I can't see it.
You can't see it?
Neither.
Okay, quick
Oh,
question.
this malaria is an infectious disease caused by parasites that are transmitted to people through female Anopheles mosquitoes. Each year, over 500 million people will become infected with malaria, with roughly 80% of them living in sub-Saharan Africa. Nearly 500,000 people. What of I can't
Die
see
of
that.
malaria? So nearly 500,000 people die of malaria every year.
At the age of 5, unlike many. Most of them young children under the age of 5, like many. What?
Unlike many other infectious diseases,
Other infectious diseases, the death toll for malaria is rising. While there have been many programs designed to improve access to malaria treatment, the best way to reduce the impact of malaria in sub-Saharan Africa is to focus on reducing the number of people who contract the disease in the first place, rather than waiting to treat the disease after the person is already infected.
very good. So who can tell me, what is this essay going to be about?
This essay is about this essay is about how malaria is an infectious disease and how people like treat it to like I don't know. But
Yeah,
it's about
yeah.
like malaria, a deadly disease,
Yeah, very good. So it
and
is,
how to treat it.
yeah, so it's going to be about malaria and how we can prevent it. Yes, very good. So how we can treat it slash prevent it. Yeah, easy, right? Any questions? No? Okay. So let's look at number 3. So number 3, this is the whole introduction. Let's have Derek, can you read this for us, please?
Me or Eric?
Derek.
Man, as college sports continue to be hugely popular and the National
Collegiate.
Collegiate Athletic Association (NCAA) brings in large amounts of revenue, people have revived the debate on whether college athletes should get paid. There are many ways payments could work. They could be in the form of a free market approach, where athletes are able to earn what the market is willing to pay them. It could be a set amount of money per athlete, or student athletes could earn income from endorsements, autographs, and control of their likeness, similar to the ways top Olympians earn money.
Yeah, very good. So who can tell me, what is this essay going to be about? Derek, can you tell me what the essay is going to be about? You just read it.
Message.
Yeah, how college athletes can get paid. Yeah, very good. Simple, right? Any questions, guys? No? So as you can see, all 3 of these argumentative essays, you know what it's going to be about right off the bat. And they all have good hooks, good thesis statements, so on and so forth. Don't get me wrong. It takes a long, long time to write good hooks and good thesis statements. If it's your first time ever writing it, don't expect it to be perfect, and that's totally okay. All right, we're aiming to try. I would rather everyone try and get it wrong than no one put any effort in. Okay, let me close this tab. We'll go back to the slides. Okay, so first body paragraph we'll do a little bit later. Now, what I want everyone to do, this will be up until XX 20-ish. I want you to write an introduction paragraph for your argumentative essay. So pick a topic, any topic. Make sure, well, no. So yes, everyone pick a topic, write what you want to write about because we're going to be using this for the next few weeks, okay? So make sure it's something you're passionate about, something you enjoy writing about. So your goal essentially is to teach us about something, right? Teach us about a specific subject. So does anybody have any questions?
So
Yep.
send it through the chat again.
Correct. So type it directly in the chat, and when you're ready, click enter. Okay. Anyone else? All right. If you have any questions, I'm here. If not, you may begin.
I'm actually still not done, but I just pressed return and it just
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You can keep
I'm
writing.
not done yet.
Yeah, thank you for letting me know. You can keep writing. It's okay. Yeah, Derek, that's fine. Go ahead. All right, everyone. So it's XX20. Um, if you need a little bit more time, that's okay. If you're ready to send it in, please do so. All right, so I've received Derek's. Thank you, Derek. I've also received a portion of Chloe's, but Chloe still said she needs to finish up, and that's totally fine. All right. Did you know that in the United States alone, 300 million tons of trash is littered every year? 300 million tons of trash is littered every year. Yep, good. Trash comes in many different states, including plastic and toxic waste. Both of these types of trash. So trash used in the previous sentence. Who can give me a synonym for trash? Starts with a G. Okay, garbage are not safe for the environment as they can choke animals and intoxicate the water. Good use of the word intoxicate. People are the cause of all of the littering. All of the littering. And we need to stop it before it gets out of hand. A few ways we can do this is to have better waste management to take out trash from the sea. I would remove this entirely, and I'll explain why. This is an argumentative essay. We're not persuading anyone, but you can put that in your body. Okay, so the body is what we're going to learn next week. It's the next few paragraphs after the introduction. The introduction like this, good, right? We don't need to add anything else. All right, so I've received Derek's making jokes. All right, so from Eric, when the internet is a noun, right? When the internet was first introduced worldwide, people thought that it was a miracle. Okay, so people. Who can give me a synonym for people? Okay, let's say everyone. Everyone could finally reach, everyone could finally call each other instead of meeting up, and information. So here I would add a comma, like a separator, and information could be seen, so can be seen, so could be seen within a minute. So instead of within 1 minute, just say within a minute. Okay. Also, when we write, we don't want to use numbers. We want to say one, O-N-E. When you really think about it, the internet sometimes ruins people's, okay. When you really think about it, the internet can ruin people's lives. So can ruin people's lives. Cyberbullying is starting to become more and more common, and finding addresses has become easier and easier. Okay. Finding addresses has become easier and easier. Easier and easier. Good. Okay, here I'll cut this out entirely. All right. Maybe we could add a stronger conclusion, but it's okay. So add a stronger transition into first body paragraph. But this is just like a little hint, little piece of advice. You don't have to do it, like I said. This just to help you improve. Okay. I'll start correcting Chloe's. So Chloe, once you can, send in the rest of your writing. Pollution hurts the environment and can be a threat to the earth. So here we need to capitalize. So instead of this pollution, remove this. Just say pollution causes trouble like global warming with a M, or animal. So instead of remove living and animal problems. And animal problems. It has involved it hasn't it has affected plenty of humans too. So it has affected plenty of humans too. All right. Mason, can you send in your writing? And Chloe, can you send in the rest of your writing, please? So Chloe, can you send in the rest of your writing? Even if you have not finished, we need to wrap up the class. Thank you. All right. People have chopped down trees to live and carelessly thrown trash into oceans, so there's no space here. There's space after the punctuation. So no space before, just space after. Seas and rivers. People also took more than what they need and wasted water and gas. Trash has been a problem. So trash has been a common problem for it as well. As well. Now people are looking out for it and picking up litter and trash. Okay, here I'll just remove this and we can continue off that. Okay. All right. So let's wrap up for today. So the homework is going to, let's do this. So check out the book of the day and finish the vocabulary portion of today's lesson. All right. So the vocabulary portion is essentially this part of, yes, Derek?
I didn't get last week's slides.
Okay, can you
So-
do me a favor? Can you send your email to there's the assistant that's titled Dr. Joe Academy. Send your email to them in the chat, okay?
Do I?
All right.
Can I just send it to you?
No, send it to them. It'll be better.
No,
They
but then I
have
have to
access.
send it to everyone.
No. You can send it. Can't you send it directly to them? Let me check something. Does it not let you send it directly to Dr. Joe Academy?
No.
No? Okay, let me try something. Give me one moment. Because the thing is they have access to all the emails. I don't. So try now. Will it work?
I'm the co-host. Oh, okay.
Does it work now?
Wait, there's no the Dr. Joe Academy guy.
Yes, send it to them.
Okay.
All right. Eric, you have a question as well?
Are we gonna check last week's homework or?
Next week we'll check last week's homework as well, okay? Next week. So save it for
Like,
next
I
week.
wasn't here last week.
I know, Chloe. So you will just do this week's homework, okay? So I know you weren't here last
Okay.
week, but you'll just do this week's homework. Okay. So Derek, do you okay, that's just don't just send your email to Dr. Academy. Don't do anything else. Okay. So for the vocabulary section of the homework, okay, that's good, Derek. That's good. Thank you. All right. Sorry. Eric, do you have another question or is it just is it still your hand? Okay, there we go. Good. Okay, so for the vocabulary portion, essentially you have these 3 words and you have to write a story with a certain theme, right? So maybe a journey or self-realization theme, or you can make it your own. Okay? So if you have any questions, feel free to reply to the email. So this is the homework. Just check out the book of the day, which is Hunger Games, great book, and finish the vocabulary portion of today's lesson. So does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns before we wrap up?
I don't. Wait, can you send like us a link? Because I don't know how to get into that.
Yes, so we're going to send an email with the class documents with the link and some additional resources as well, like a video, so on and so forth. Okay?
Okay.
So check your email in a little bit and it'll be there. All right. So any other questions, comments, concerns? No? All right. Thank you all so much for learning with Dr. Joe's Academy. Have a wonderful day and I'll see you all next Thursday. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.